You know, for me, there are really only two kinds of people in the world: good people and bad people. Hi, it's Paul Deeds here. I don't care much about where you're from or what your gender is or what color you are. To me, who you are is much more important than what you are. In my opinion, there are a few things in this world that are black and white. Everything is a shade of gray to me. There are variables on virtually everything. In the good and bad conversation, there are good people that do bad things and there are bad people that do good things. So it's not completely one or completely the other. You know, there aren't too many Mother Teresas and there aren't too many Charles Mansons. If you put it all on a horizontal scale, with good being on one side and bad being on the other end, most of us fall someplace along the scale. Hopefully you're on the good side, not the bad side of center. I hope I am anyway. But most of us are somewhere in that inner area, not too much to one side or the other. How close you are to the center or how close you are to the ends, you know, who knows. And maybe we can't decide that for ourselves. Maybe somebody else has to decide that for us. And everybody has their own opinion about what's really good and what's really bad. So I think most of us could probably take the people we're acquainted with and place them somewhere on that scale. We have a good idea of which of our friends, which of the people that we know are on the good side or the bad side. I think most of us have heard people say, "Oh, I don't judge." And maybe we've said it ourselves at some point. I'm pretty sure I have. I'm not sure that that's true. I personally think that we judge things and we judge people all day, all the time. That's how we form opinions. In my opinion, that's how we form opinions. And you know what they say about opinions. You know, if we didn't judge things and form opinions, there'd be people putting ketchup on hot dogs, for crying out loud. Wait, don't unsubscribe. I was just kidding. It's a joke. But seriously, it would probably be more accurate to say we try not to judge too harshly. I think everybody makes snap judgments. Most of it take a few minutes to think about it and adjust our judgments. I find myself doing that anyway. I may make a harsh judgment on someone and it turns out to be not particularly accurate. Got to be able to change your opinions, change your judgments. I think most of us have some prejudice in us. I think there's human nature involved there. We make judgments and form prejudice. It probably has something to do with the way we were brought up, how we were raised, that sort of thing too. But I think some of it is built in. And I kind of draw a line between prejudice and bigotry. You could say they're the same thing, but I think prejudice is a leaning one way or another. I think bigotry is a more harsh and hard line than prejudice. I think most of us have some nature of prejudice in us. But kind of getting back to the good and the bad people, I think most people would agree that any large group has its share of good people and its share of bad people. You know, whether it's religion or race or gender, whatever large group you want to. Politics is another one. Having just come through the presidential election here, if you listen to both sides, you'd think the other side didn't have any good people in it at all. And I think we all know that that's not true. There are some good Republicans, some bad Republicans, some good Democrats, some bad Democrats. I think it'd be kind of interesting if when we met somebody, we decided if they were a good person or a bad person before we found out if they were one group or another group. Being in a group doesn't necessarily make you a good guy or a bad guy. You can be a good guy or a bad guy in any group. It's up to you to decide. Which side of the scale are you going to be on? What side of the scale am I going to be on? That's for us to decide. So I'll try to continue finding out who someone is before finding out what someone is. So for my money, forget race, forget gender, forget politics, forget all of that stuff of what a person is, and stick with who they are. Are they a good person or a bad person? Peace and joy.